But let's dive in to our big story, and it is a game between two teams that have had very different seasons. Ohio State and Penn State. Buckeyes come in ranked #1 in the AP, winners of 11 straight back to last year, boasting the nation's top scoring defense, allowing less than 6 points per game. Penn State's had a tumultuous season. 4 straight losses by a total of 13 points. Will be their second game without the fired James Franklin. Drew Aller out for the year as well, but Ryan Day still understandably wary.
We know that this is one of the top 5-10 teams in the country. I don't think there's many teams in the country that have more talent than Penn State has. And I think people recognize that early in the season. Sure, it hasn't gone the way they've wanted it to, but that doesn't change that they still have really good players. And when you looked at this game, a few months ago, I mean, it was an absolute matchup game. That has not changed.
We have a tremendous opportunity here on Saturday to go to Ohio State. They're a very well-coached team, very talented. Coach Day's done an amazing job with those guys. This is why you come to Penn State for this big stage, to play in games like this and be able to compete against the #1 team in the country and have an opportunity to beat those guys.
Our big stat is brought to you by Gatorade. Taking a look at the series. As you are likely fully aware, it is one Ohio State has owned of late. That is a huge part, or was a huge part, I suppose, of Franklin's downfall. 8 straight wins, 12 of the last 13. Nittany Lions haven't beaten the Bucks in Columbus since 2011. They haven't beaten them anywhere since 2016. Jerry, this has a very different complexion than we assumed it would in the preseason. Remember, this was supposed to be, at least based on the preseason polls, it was #2 versus #3. And need I remind everyone, it was Penn State that was the higher-ranked team in the preseason. They were #2. The defending champs were #3. It obviously looks very different now. As you assess it going into Saturday, knowing what we now know, what stands out to you?
Well, first, what Ryan Day has said, right? They're still a very talented team. That's obviously what he's talking to his players about. His players can see on video that they're a very talented team. I think the real favorable matchup for Ohio State is their defense against the Penn State offense. Obviously, with Drew Aller out and now with a new young quarterback, Ethan Grunkemeyer, why wouldn't you give the ball more to Allen? Why wouldn't you be more of a ground game than a balanced team on offense? So I would expect Penn State to try to come in and try to run the ball against perhaps the best defense or one of the best defenses in the country. More so now than if Drew Aller was still playing the game. But with a young new quarterback, I would guess this mismatch favors the Ohio State defense.
Yeah, this is a team in Penn State that has really struggled offensively, as we know. Even when they had Drew Aller, they were struggling offensively. Run game isn't where we expected it to be. They're not throwing vertically nearly as much as Terry Smith wants them to. In fact, he made a specific point in his news conference this week of saying we're going to throw the ball downfield, that he told Andy Kotelnicki he wanted it to be a vertical passing game rather than a horizontal passing game. Easier said than done. We know how good Ohio State has been here defensively. What about Ohio State's offense, though, Jerry? And Ryan Day was talking this week, coming off of the bye week, about the fact that maybe the run game isn't quite where people expected it to be. How do you assess where the Buckeyes are there and kind of how it affects your view of them?
Yeah, there's no doubt. They don't have a dominant tailback. They don't have a dominant run game. That doesn't mean they can't win the rest of their games. It's just different. The first 16 plays against Wisconsin, they ran the ball twice. Statistically, it'll be 3 times because there was a scramble, but they gave the ball to the tailback twice. Is that what they want to do? Is that what they have to do? I think we're going to have to continue to see it unfold as the season comes to an end there. Can they still win out with what they're doing offensively? Absolutely. I mean, Ryan Day knows that they're a little different this year. They don't have the running backs they had last year. I would say it's more difficult to have a dominant team with that much pass-run ratio, but it certainly can happen. But there's no doubt they're playing offense differently than they have played it in recent years. But again, with that defense, if if you ever wanted a really good defense, it might be a year where you're a little heavier pass-wise than you are run-wise. And again, everyone's goal is to play complementary football, and that's what we're seeing from Ohio State, even though they're not running the ball all that much.
Yeah, and it helps when you're first in the nation in passing efficiency, when you have a quarterback completing 80% of his passes, when you have Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I mean, there's a lot still to like on this Ohio State offense. But to your point, it is a team where it feels like it's the defense that's more of the finished product. There is this interesting storyline of Jim Knowles, who, of course, coordinated their defense a season ago, Jerry. They led the nation in scoring defense last year. They're leading the nation in scoring defense again this year with Matt Patricia. They're even better statistically than they were a season ago. To what extent, if any, do you think any of that factors in to this game?
Well, you introduced, it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. You introduced that early in this week's show. I don't think it has a lot to do with it. I mean, I've read what Ryan Day has said about Coach Knowles. When someone leaves one school to go another, there's some good, there's some bad. He did a terrific job when he was here at Ohio State. I do think it'll give the Ohio State offensive staff a little bit of an edge, knowing what Jim Knowles really likes, what they used to do in spring practice and in fall camp when they competed against one another. So I'd say it certainly doesn't hurt Ohio State's offensive staff, and I think it helps. In what degree, I'm not quite sure. But the fact that they have competed against him in camp and and spring in the past, I think that's a little bit of a help for the offensive staff at Ohio State.
And frankly, it's been a struggle for Knowles and that defense as well. If there is a week to get that run game going for Ohio State, it's probably this week. Penn State is last in the Big Ten in rushing defense in conference play.